Hi, I'm Steve from Trailless Travel, and today we're going to talk about how to hook up our weight distribution hitch. The weight distribution hitch is definitely very important when you're towing a large camper, especially if you want to keep yourself safe, your family safe, and the other people on the road safe. So let's get into it and talk about how to hook it up. All of our supplies for the weight distribution hitch is in this front bay, so we have easy access for it, and it's all put together. I'll talk about how to set the correct height for the ball in that installation video that we'll link in the iCard. So one of the first things that we want to do is make sure that this is securely put in here. So just make sure that it's actually in the hitch receiver and everything is in there pinned correctly, so this pin doesn't pull out and actually be removed from the vehicle, the tow vehicle. What we're going to do is we will back the vehicle up to get it underneath here so we can actually connect the trailer to the tow vehicle.
Before you move your vehicle, be sure to check your surroundings to make sure it's safe to back up. You should also check to see that the trailer is high enough that the ball can fit underneath the coupling without running into it. Even if you have a backup camera, you may find it easiest to have someone help you with this process. The backup cameras can still be difficult to see the exact alignment of the hitch with the coupling. Don't get discouraged if it takes you a couple tries. As you can see, this was our third time hooking this particular vehicle up to our trailer, and we still even had a little bit of a learning curve to go just with a new tow vehicle. Once you have your vehicle in the proper position, be sure to set your parking brake before moving on to the next step.
Alright, now that we have it backed up underneath the coupling here for the trailer, then we're going to make sure that our stabilizers on the trailer are off the ground so we can lower this down onto the ball. On our particular camper, we have motorized stabilizing jacks, and so we just press a button. Now that we have our stabilizer jacks lifted all the way up, we want to lower this coupling onto the ball. We want to make sure that it is above the ball. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but just making sure it is underneath there, because it will give a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and lower this onto the ball. And ours worked out really well, so it slid forward, the coupling slid forward onto the ball and then shifted backwards. And so this will go on there really easy. Sometimes if your ball is too far backwards, it'll sit up here like this and you won't be able to lock it. And so you gotta make sure and just slightly pull your vehicle forward so the ball is resting on the front part of this coupler here. And so we go ahead and put that down. We want to make sure and put this pin in here for the simple fact that it locks the coupling to the ball hitch. So once we have this locked in place, we need to actually raise the back end of the vehicle up, because that will allow for the weight distribution bars to go on a lot easier.
This is another part of the process that may take a few tries. If you've raised the back of your vehicle slightly and are still having trouble getting the weight distribution bars on, continue to raise the rear of the vehicle up higher until the bars slide right on.
So we have our weight distribution bar. It is very heavy duty, and it really should be, especially when you're talking about a big trailer and a big vehicle, connecting them together. I'll talk about this a little bit more in the setup of the weight distribution hitch, but these things are really important because they will distribute the weight more evenly to the whole part of your tow vehicle. So let's go attach this. So for our particular weight distribution bars, we have to make sure we have the rib side of this bar up, and so then we insert it into the hitch here the bottom part, and then you have to pull the top side up, and then we have to make sure and lock this down, because that's what actually holds that in there, so it'll stay in there and not pop out. So since we have released the pressure off the rear end of the vehicle, we will be able to slide these on there just that easy. If you are unable to jack the rear of your vehicle up, let's say you only have a manual jack, or you're just on an incline that won't allow that, you need this helper bar. So we use this tool to actually place the weight distribution bar up onto the L bracket, and so then you just pull it up and then it snaps into place. Okay, so we got this side put on the L bracket. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the other side on. Okay, so in order to keep the weight distribution bars on those L brackets, we have to have something that holds it in place. And in your kit, it will come with this L-shaped pin. And so we place that through this hole with this pointed towards the other L bracket. And then we want to make sure and pin that just to make sure it doesn't move. And we want to make sure and put pins on both sides. Okay, so at this point we are ready to actually put all of the weight from the trailer onto the tow vehicle, because we have the sway bars set up on the L brackets. And what this is going to do is distribute the weight more evenly along the tow vehicle and not put it all on the back part of the tow vehicle. We always want to make sure that our jack is pulled up as high as possible, just so it doesn't drag on the ground when we go over a bump.
It's crucial that everything be completed on both sides properly, so we suggest doing this either by yourself to make sure you're getting every step completed, or if you are using a helper, each of you should be going through and doing the same step at the same time to make sure everything is buttoned up before you go down the road. We'll also have a link in the description to our website where we'll have a printable checklist that you can have handy while you're hooking up your camper.
So at this point we want to make sure and hook up our safety chains. That's in case something happens here, which would be very difficult for that to happen. The trailer would still stay attached to our tow vehicle. So the last thing that we need to hook up is the emergency brake on the trailer. If this thing gets pulled, then it'll automatically put the brakes on the trailer and stop it. The last thing that we hook up is the cable to the truck, and so this will control the brake lights on the trailer, and it'll also tell the trailer when to brake with the brake trailer. With the trailer brake. Okay, so how you do that, you always make sure that that you're putting it in there correctly. And so for ours, this has to go up, and it's usually how the opening of your hitch goes, and then you slide it in there, and then you just make sure and pull on it and make sure it doesn't pop out, because we want to make sure that there's a good connection in there. And then after we have this all hooked up, we want to make sure and walk around both the vehicle and the trailer and pick up anything that we left out. Make sure you have all your chocks for the wheels and leveling blocks picked up and put in their secure place, and then you're ready to go. I know that some of you can sometimes be a little worried on how to hook up a travel trailer to a tow vehicle. I hope this video helped you out with that and gives you a little bit more ease at hooking it up. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to follow more of our adventures, definitely subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the trail.